Maybe I'll sit in the chair today. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. So as we know, 2023 is fastly approaching us, and this is the time where everyone's starting to think about their fitness journey, whether they want to begin their fitness journey or revamp it a little bit. I thought I would come on here and share 5 pretty common fitness mistakes that actually hindered my fitness journey and prevented me from becoming leaner and stronger. And I want to share these with you guys in case maybe you resonate, maybe you are doing them, or you can learn from them and you don't have to make these same mistakes in your fitness journey, and you can just start off on the right foot, just going bigger, better, stronger from the very beginning. So let's get into it. My very first mistake was I wasn't fueling my body properly for my sessions. I was under the impression that carbs would make me hold on to my fat, and dairy at the same time wouldn't help me lose any fat. So I cut carbs and dairy, which actually resulted in me having a dairy issue later on. Unfortunate, don't do that. But I was cutting them for essentially like no reason, and I was going into my sessions trying to push harder and faster and really get everything out of my sessions that I could with absolutely no energy. I was hitting a wall because I was cutting carbohydrates, and as we know, carbohydrates are the main fuel component for our body, especially when we are trying to push past what makes us comfortable in our sessions. And so I was really hindering the muscle gain that I could have been making. If I were fueling my body properly, I could actually push past that wall and essentially have muscle gain, more muscle gain there. And I kind of view it as opportunity lost. My body could be performing better muscle protein synthesis, building my muscle, and instead I was hitting a wall and nothing was happening, and I wasn't seeing any progress that way. But that also ties us into mistake number 2, which was doing what others did because it worked for them. So I remember at the time, I think this was like back in 2018 in my journey, I was following a lot of influencers that were cutting carbohydrates and that were cutting gluten and dairy because they were allergic to gluten and dairy, or because it was something that they were doing that was very specific to them, and I saw that it was working for them, it was giving them a leaner physique in my mind, so I cut gluten and dairy, and now I have an intolerance, as we know. But also, I was prioritizing my workouts and my sessions based off of what was working for them, so it's no surprise that that didn't work for me. One thing that we need to understand is our bodies are so unique and we're so individual, you know? Like, from an early age you heard the saying of like, there's only one of you, you are special, there's only one of you, and you absolutely are, but that means you know your body best, and your body is going to work in ways that doesn't work for other people. So make sure that we train for our goals and our bodies in mind, and we're not training because someone over here trains this way and it really works for them, because more than likely that's not going to work for you. So common mistake number 3 is having your training not match your goal. It seems like a really simple thing, but it's actually something a lot of people miss is, what is your goal? And does your training align to your goal? There was a time in 2018 whenever I was in college, I was waking up at 6 a.m. I was going to the gym thinking if I checked that box, no matter what I did, I would have this muscular physique. And that really just wasn't the case. Like, my HIIT workouts that I did were not building me the kind of muscle that I was looking for. And that's really because I wasn't training for my goal. I was just doing training and hoping that I would hit my goal. In reality, that was just not working for me. My advice to anyone starting their fitness journey would be, know your specific goal and then make sure that your training hits you on track for that goal. Make sure that training coincides with that goal. So if you're wanting to improve your endurance, per se, make sure that you're doing activities that will stress and provide stimulus to your cardiovascular system. If you are wanting to build muscle, make sure that you're doing activities that are going to be providing stress and stimuli to your musculoskeletal system. Basically, make sure that you're providing stress on your body that is going to help you build those muscles. Getting specific with what you're doing in the gym to match your goals. Your body is going to adapt to the stress that you put it through, and if you don't put the proper amount of stress on your body, it's not going to adapt, it's not going to build the muscle or the endurance that you're looking for. So tip number 4 is so similar to the last tip I just said, but it's different in one specific way. Mistake number 4 is not practicing proper progressive overload. One thing about our bodies, just in general, for every single person, is that if you want your body to adapt, you have to bring your body out of the state of homeostasis, out of the comfortableness that we feel on a day-to-day basis. If we are comfortable, our body is not growing. And it really sucks because we like to live in this very comfy state of being, but if you want your body to change and adapt, you have to make it by providing stress and stimuli internally and externally on your body. And so the way that we do this is by progressive overload. It's the principle that helps our body adapt and overcome through a period of time. So if we want to continue to get stronger every day, you have to add weights, reps, sets, time, distance. You have to keep adding to what you were doing essentially yesterday in order to keep growing and keep changing, keep providing stress on those muscles in order for them to grow, or if your cardiovascular system to get better, you kind of have to keep building those building blocks every single day. So one thing about that in my fitness journey that I wasn't doing was I didn't have a clear plan. And so I didn't have proper progressive overload. I was going in and one day I would do legs, the next day I would do hip, the next day I do upper body, and that sounds great, but I wasn't increasing the weights, increasing the stress, increasing the time, the reps, anything. I basically just checked that box and moved on, and then I was wondering why I wasn't seeing any physical changes. I wasn't seeing any muscular changes at all from those. I was basically maintaining and staying the same with the expectation that just checking that box, getting it done, would allow myself to grow, and that's just not the case. We have to be adding on through proper progressive overload. So I'm gonna call this mistake 4.5. There's I think I really have 6 mistakes that I want to talk about, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention this one, and I think this one is something really common that a lot of people go through, and you just kind of have to learn about, or learn about it early and just skip this mistake entirely. So that is overtraining. Let me see if this resonates with you. If you have this thought like I did back in 2018, and it was, I have this goal and I want to get there as quick as possible. I don't need to rest. I'm gonna train 7 days a week and it will help me get there faster. Logically, I feel like I see how it makes sense because I was there too, but if we do not rest our bodies, if we're providing stress every day, 24/7, 7 days a week, our body doesn't get a chance to rest and recover, and you guys know that rest and recovery is where the actual buildup of muscle is made. That actual muscle growth happens whenever we are recovering properly, and if we skip that recovery, it's just gonna lead to overtraining. Overtraining is essentially that feeling where you've pushed your body to the max and it can't do anymore. So you could be doing an exercise that, take for instance, bench press. You could be bench pressing, what, like 125 easy last week, and then you have put so much stress on your body to a point where you're overtraining yourself that 125, you just can't do it. You can't even look at the bar. You cannot lift it if you tried, and it's just your body reaching its max breaking point. We want to avoid that. We want to make sure that we are killing our sessions and that we're bringing our best foot forward when we do have our sessions, but that means that we have to take rest seriously and we have to recover properly. So all that to say, make sure to avoid overtraining by giving yourself that rest time. Give yourself the day off, okay? You deserve it. So my last and final mistake that I made / tip to not make for you. The mistake that I made was cutting too many calories at one time to a point where I damaged my metabolism. And this is something I really struggle with because I do have friends or friends online that DM me that are like, hey Brittany, 2,000 calorie diet is what's recommended, but I'm going through a cut, so eating 1,200 calories and I'm just tired, I'm not hitting my sessions, and I'm seeing no fat loss. I went through this stage too. I got obsessed with counting calories and kind of made it a challenge to see how little I could eat thinking that that would lead to fat loss. What that really leads to is damaging your metabolism. You're not eating anything, so your body's not processing what you're eating as energy and to a rate that it should. And essentially, you're gonna be low on energy. Your body is not gonna get the energy it needs to fuel your sessions. You're gonna have bad sessions as a result of that. And you'll be burning less energy throughout the day as a result of that too, which means you're not burning calories, you're not gonna be in a calorie deficit. Essentially, you're really just damaging your metabolism when you cut that much and when you eat that little. So that's why everyone just puts a huge emphasis on fueling your body properly. Being in a calorie deficit is great, but not that drastic of a calorie deficit. And one thing that I wanna mention too that just I think I tell to a lot of my friends and they seem shocked and surprised I've never heard this is 2,000 calories is what is recommended for the general population, and that's millions and thousands of people. It is not specific to you. If you want to find out the calories that you need to be eating, that you need to be burning, talk to a dietitian or look for it's called the TDE calculator, Total Daily Energy Expenditure Calculator, and it uses things like your basal metabolic rate, your physical activity, how much you eat, and it will calculate how much you burn and how much you need in a day, and I bet you it'll be over 2,000 calories. Which kind of leads me to my point of when you cut so much off of just 2,000 calories, like when you have that base caloric intake incorrect, if you have it at 2,000 for the general population guidance and you cut off of that, you can see how it's really wrecking your metabolism if you don't have the numbers correctly to start off with. So all that just to say, be careful about how you cut calories. Please note that your specific TDE is not gonna be based off of a general population 2,000. You should look it up for yourself, and I think it'll really help you in your journey as well to know that number. But anyway guys, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And yeah, so I really hope if you're starting your fitness journey in 2023, or if you're just here to learn more, I really hope this was helpful to you, and I really hope you go and you kill that journey. So starting your fitness journey is just an ever-evolving process. You're gonna learn so much as you do it. You're gonna make mistakes as you do it, and all of those things are okay. You are learning more about yourself, and you're really putting yourself at the forefront. Your health, your happiness, hopefully. I hope that this journey brings you happiness and just lets you live a healthy and happy life. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up here, you guys. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you can avoid making these mistakes in your fitness journey, and I hope you enjoy and absolutely love the process as well. Love you guys. See ya.